We're talking actors and directors who put on the shows.
We're talking playwrights and designers who you'll want to know.
From the very first rehearsal to the final curtain call.
We might be off Broadway, but we're talking about it all.
'Cause we're two local gals
With global pals, it's everything, everything, everything theater.
with Benita
And Ellen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everything Theater podcast, the podcast where we talk about
everything theater, from behind the stage to the front of the house and even up in the rafters. Hi, I'm Benita Zahn.
And I'm Ellen Cribbs, and this episode is sponsored by Harbinger Theater. We're going to tell you a little bit about their current show that's running. It's called Exit Strategy by Ike Holter. I actually had the fortune to see this last weekend, and it was fantastic. Lots to think about here. Set in Chicago, about schools that were closing back in like 2013, 2014. So here's a little synopsis. The teachers of Tumberland High School didn't live in an inspirational teacher movie. They bring mousetraps from home, they make the toilet paper last, and they show up for their kids where no one else does. So when the school is slated for closure at the end of the year and the weight of the inevitable bears down on the community, students and teachers alike discover their breaking points. Ricky, the vice principal, has stayed firmly on the sidelines for all the teachers' previous battles, but now in the 11th hour, he's compelled to step up with a plan to save the school. Some risk their futures to follow his lead. But does he actually have any idea what he's doing? And as I said, unfortunately, this is the last weekend to catch it. You only have 3 more chances on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $15, and it's at the Albany Barn, which is a great location for this show. It's a converted school, so it's very cool.
Been trying to get over there. I did see the show over at the Troy Foundry Theater, the Beckett. So go in a good mood because it's Beckett, but the performances were wonderful, wonderful. So props to them. A lot of stuff going on in New York. Broadway's going to go mask optional starting in July.
Yes.
And a lot of conversations I've had with folks who've been concerned about going back to the theater. I say, listen, you go, you wear that KN95, and well, now for those who are still concerned. And also, despite so many of the Tonys going that way, companies closing the end of July.
Oh, I didn't hear that yet.
Yes, just saw that. So just to let you know, if you haven't, buy your tickets now, if you can still get them.
Yeah. Well, and 2 other big ones that Dear Evan Hansen and Come From Away are closing.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, get there. And then it makes room for something else and something else. We've got a lot of something else going on right here in the Capital Region, along with Harbinger Theater's show wrapping up this weekend. There's a lot going on over at the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall. And Associate Director Stacy Breach is with us to talk about it. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Benita. Hi, Ellen. Thank you so much for having me.
So the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall, if folks don't know, if they've never been there, is really, it is exquisite. Performers come from around the world to record there. Opened in what, 1870, completed 1870, started 1875, I think,
Yep.
opening its doors, right?
Opened its doors in April of 1875.
And
Wow.
there's also a phenomenal pipe organ that's been restored.
Yes, that's true, sort of. There's an enormous pipe organ that sits above the stage, and actually it's responsible for the wonderful acoustics in the building. The organ was installed in 1895, 20 years after the hall opened. Actually, it's funny history. It was in a private home in Manhattan, if you can believe that. It was owned by a gentleman named William Belden. He was a financier and also sort of a scoundrel. He was the Bernie Madoff of his day. And he got into some trouble and needed to sell some assets. And he sold the Troy Music Hall his pipe organ. And when they installed it, they needed to alter the building so that it had a place for all of the 1,200 pipes that are part of the organ to sit. So they built this cove that the pipe organ sits on, and that pushes the sound out into the hall. And from that point forward, the acoustics have just been phenomenal.
Oh no,
Wow.
you did.
I know.
Stacy, you earned your keep tonight.
And you're right, artists do come from all over the world to perform and record at the hall because of the acoustics. Performers tell us that they can hear each other on stage, unlike anywhere else. Certainly sitting in the audience and hearing a show there is really unlike any other experience. It's different.
And that's why there's no air conditioning there.
That is true. There is no air conditioning. So we do not do a lot of programming or shows in July and August because it does get a little uncomfortable.
So tell us about June. You've got some stuff.
Yeah, well, we managed to keep busy. We have one more show this season. It's actually a co-promotion with the Ukrainian community in the area. It's a fundraiser called Songs from the Heart. And a lot of performers and dance ensembles from the area are coming together to put together a show this Sunday, the 26th at 3:00 in the afternoon.
How'd that come to be?
Well, the woman who's organizing it, her name is Irina Petrick. She's a local opera singer. She has recorded at the hall, and she is Ukrainian and in touch with the Ukrainian community. And she reached out and asked John Elbaum, our executive director, and I if we would be willing to participate. And we said yes, of course. And we've been working together to put this together for the past couple of weeks. So we're very excited about that.
Give us a little sense of what audiences will experience at the show.
So there are 3 different dance ensembles. There's quite a few young performers, children participating, as well as some area opera musicians doing everything from arias to the Ukrainian national anthem. I think I saw the Star Spangled Banner on the program list. So it's going to be an eclectic afternoon, but for a good cause.
So there's 1,175 seats.
That is correct. You did your research.
unless they're going into the house, then sometimes you lose some seats.
Yes.
But you're going to sell every one of them. Is that the game plan for this?
That would be amazing. That would be a great outcome.
Is all the money going to?
Yes. All the money is going to the Ukraine to help them with their situation, which is rather unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an easy ask for groups in the community to say, I'd like to come and do a fundraiser there, cut me a deal, or is this a one-off?
I wouldn't say it's a one-off. It's certainly, not something that we do all the time, but certainly we entertain all sorts of asks and ideas every day, and it's not something we would say no to just offhand. We would definitely consider it.
Eclectic is the word to use for the programming.
For sure.
Yeah. You have next season already set?
We're in the process of planning it. We will kick off in September with the Nights. This is one of the Troy Chromatic Concerts presentations. They are kind of a modern, I don't know if we actually announced that show, and then I'm saying this out loud.
Okay, sort of, it's our secret.
It's a secret. They're sort of a modern chamber orchestra, and actually they were originally scheduled to perform at the hall in January. But if you remember January, we were in the midst of, I guess, Omicron at that point, and a lot of shows did get canceled or rescheduled during that time period. So this is making up for that. And then I think the next weekend is another makeup, again, canceled because of COVID. Sarah Evans will be on stage. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. You do comedy there also. Paula Poundstone is
Paula Poundstone's coming. Taylor Tomlinson. We probably, produced maybe 4 or 5 different comedians each season. It's something we started doing maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it's been really popular, and we enjoy having them. It's a nice fun night for everybody.
Are artists still booking the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall to come and record?
Yes, that's still definitely an option. As our schedule fills up, it's harder and harder to find periods where there's a slate of a few days together where you can come record. But if we know about them far enough in advance, we can definitely work that out. It's definitely something we took advantage of during the COVID shutdown, when our schedule was we were literally not allowed to have an audience in the hall. So we booked quite a few recording sessions during that period of time, which was really helpful.
Did you do any kind of virtual thing during the height of COVID? A lot of people were trying to record stuff, and then get it out on the web.
Yep, we did do several virtual concerts. We also did some outdoor concerts, and that actually is still a thing. We loved it so much, we've decided to make it part of our regular programming. So every Friday and Saturday nights in July and August, we do free concerts literally on the sidewalk right in front of the music hall. The performances are about an hour to an hour and a half long, and we employ all sorts of local musicians with a wide range of genres, everything from Brazilian brass to Celtic music, to folk singers and singer-songwriters, African drumming and dance. As wide a range as we can come up with. We love to produce those concerts for the community.
So it sounds like you have such an eclectic group of artists that you bring in. Scheduling wise, how much of a nightmare is that to be able to run and find all these people and fill in all these slots?
It's a bit of a Tetris, as you can imagine. Yeah. It's a lot of back and forth with agents and holding dates, because imagine from the agent or the performer's point of view as well. They're trying to put together 15 city tour that makes sense routing wise. We're very fortunate in the capital region where we're 3 hours from New York, 3 hours from Montreal, 3 hours from Boston, 3 hours from Buffalo, so kind of smack dab in the middle, and it's a nice tour stop. So that you're not driving, 8 hours between gigs. But it's certainly a Tetris to put all that together.
Are there certain companies that you kind of know, artists will usually stop here in New York City or Boston and then come to us, or do you work in partnership with anybody to kind of figure that out?
You would think it would work that way, but it doesn't really. I mean, certainly we have great relationships with a lot of agents and agencies, but doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to put us on their roster. We do find, which I think is kind of a testament to the music hall and really interesting, a lot of performers will play the hall either directly before or directly after they have just played Carnegie Hall. Like, they'll play us on Friday night and Carnegie Hall on Saturday, or vice versa. So
wow,
that just gives you a little, taste of like what level we're competing at or performing at.
Your summer series out of doors, do you post all that so folks can just jump on your website and say,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go for a little African drumming Friday night, let's all meet there? And how many people can you accommodate at these?
The city of Troy's been great. They close the streets down on Fridays and Saturdays, and actually the whole weekend. So it's as many people as you can literally fit on 2nd Street. A lot of folks will make reservations for Bacchus, the pizza place right across the street, and sit at their outdoor dining and listen to some music. But yes, it's all on our website, troymusichall.org. We have Facebook events for each of the performances. So that's another way you can see what's coming up.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Just come, bring your lawn chair and come.
Such a deal.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And you have a lot of educational outreach.
We do. Our education and outreach program, cannot say enough wonderful things about them, particularly when things shut down during the beginning of the pandemic. They just turned on a dime and made everything went virtual literally overnight. We have some really fabulous creative teaching artists who are really passionate about their craft and sharing it with the students. We do a lot of work with Troy Middle School, Troy Prep High School. We work a lot with Hope 7 and Oakwood Community Center, and we're always looking to expand and reach more students.
And what kind of educational experience do those kids have? What's a typical program look like?
It's all over the place. There's African drumming. We have guitar they call it clubs, guitar clubs. So we've got students learning how to play guitar. We've got students learning how to create podcasts like this one. Yeah. So it's really kind of all over the place. Jordan Taylor Harrell is one of our teaching artists. He's an African drummer and an African dance artist, and he has some really great programs for students as well.
How much of a struggle? Was there a concern that you'd still open your doors after the pandemic?
I don't think we ever thought we would close or anything like that, but there was a lot of uncertainty, it was not pretty. We were at 575 days in between performances. That's a really long time. We have wonderful supporters and donors who really helped us keep the lights on, and we did all the things that everyone had to do to survive during that time. We really kind of cut back operations to bare bones and did what we had to do. And now we're back and stronger from it. And glad we were able to continue our legacy. This is the music hall's second pandemic, if you count the flu of 1918. So I think we survived both pretty well.
What's your policy now with masks? So you probably heard at the beginning that New York is going, optional, and I don't know what that means, but yeah.
So for us, it is entirely dictated on the artist or the renter of the hall. If they want vaccination checks and masks to be required, then that's what we'll enforce. If it's one of our shows where we have a say, then we no longer are doing vaccination checks, and we strongly recommend masks in the hall.
But if somebody doesn't want to and the artist doesn't require it, they can come and sit unmasked.
Correct.
It's an interesting time right now.
It's a very interesting time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised about New York City, Benita. I'm kind of glad I went when I did a few weeks ago. I don't know if I would be quite ready yet to sit in the audience in New York City without a mask.
But it's going like that with transportation. I'm sorry, Stacy, go ahead.
So, as a staff, we all wear our masks, and even in the office setting, we're still wearing our masks all day, just to kind of protect each other. And I haven't had it yet, and really, honestly, I think that's because I'm diligent about the mask, and and I sort of apologize or not even apologize, but just say to any vendors or anybody coming into the building and they see me wearing a mask. They ask, oh, do I have to wear a mask, or why are you still wearing a mask? And I regularly spend time with 500 or 600 people, so I'm doing this to protect you. So that's how it is right now. Yeah.
I mean, that's, as performers, we've been diligent, and I sort of joke, it was at a bit of a lull, the lulls and the rise sort of crossed, and I was tired. I was rehearsing for a show, driving 100 miles round trip.
Yep.
And I gave a speech, and I'm sure that's where after over 2 years, and
Yep.
I never was home. I mean, I went to work through the whole thing, but after the speech, everybody wants to talk to you this close.
Right.
And let me tell you, rehearsing for a show, sitting right here in front of your computer,
it's different.
It's different. Yeah. So no, hats off. I mean, look, everybody does what they feel is right.
Yeah, that's the decision we made, and so far it's worked out pretty well for us. So we're okay with that. And we'll see what the fall brings, and if the tides turn the other way, we're flexible and have the protocol and all that in place, and can do what we need to do.
Okay, so Stacy, what's the craziest thing that's happened since you've been there?
Oh.
Can you talk about it?
Oh boy, that's a good one. I don't want to speak ill of anybody. Honestly, this isn't necessarily crazy, but everyone is, especially the higher echelon artists, are all delightful and very appreciative of everyone's efforts to make the shows go well. Not really a crazy thing, I guess, but I was surprised when I met Donovan, the Sunshine Superman. He's maybe 5'3", just a short little man. And I think he told me a dirty limerick. I mean, he was just delightful to spend the evening with.
Yeah, I don't know as I would have expected that. Would you, Ellen?
No.
On that note,
He was a lot of fun.
Run through us again the event this week to raise money for relief in Ukraine.
Yes, so this Sunday, June 26th, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's called Songs from the Heart. It's a benefit for the Ukraine. Tickets are $25 each. Children under 12 are free, but they do need a ticket. You can buy them on our website, troymusichall.org, or give our box office a call at 518-273-0038.
Should be a great time. Do we bring our own pierogies?
Oh, if you could bring me pierogies, that would be great. I miss my grandmother's pierogies.
I'm with you. Stacy, thanks so very much. All the
Thank
best.
you so
Hope
much.
pass the house. Listen, there's 1,175 seats. Come on, Capital
We need to
Region.
fill them all.
Fill them all. You know what? I had one last kind of silly question for you.
Sure.
With a building so old, you gotta have some ghosts, right? Are there any
Don't.
ghost stories?
No, and let me tell
No?
you, the staff is so disappointed that we don't have a ghost. Like, and maybe I'm inviting something, but no, we don't have a ghost. I have no good ghost stories, and it's very disappointing.
Bummer.
I know.
You never know.
We'll
You
have
always
a
have to ask.
seance sometime, and maybe that'll bring something about. But
They're just
Yeah.
so in tune, they don't want to get involved and mess up the acoustics.
maybe
Exactly.
that's it. Yeah. Or
Exactly.
maybe, I don't know, they're responsible for making sure it stays that way. I don't know, but it's working out just fine.
I saw a joke today that said a performer can use acoustics to get their voice out, but a pigeon can't because a coo sticks, and it only goes one way.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum.
That's pretty great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stacy. This has been awesome to hear all about the programming. I want to remind everybody about Harbinger Theater. Again, they're sponsoring this episode, and they have this weekend is the last to see Exit Strategy by Ike Holter. The 23rd, 24th, 25th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $15. And Harbinger Theater has been recognized by the Troy Record as the newest theater organization in the area. That it is the most prolific as well as one of the most challenging in terms of material. And that's very true. You know, you won't see this play anywhere else in the region. So check
And
it out.
Stacy, anytime that the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall wants to sponsor one of our episodes, you just drop us a note. We got the
I know how to
email.
get in touch with y'all. Yeah, thank you so much for having me and allowing me to talk about the music hall. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Absolutely. And keep us posted on what's going on. Thanks everyone for listening. I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I'm Benita Simon. Check us out next time.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everything Theater podcast. Special thanks goes out to Alice Grinling for our photography and Justin Friello for composing our amazing theme song. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to share your thoughts or what's going on in your theater community, you can reach out to us on social media or through our email at everythingtheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, it's everything, everything,